An exciting time for Apex Legends Esports, but can it topple the giant? Here to break it all down, Arda Ocal with Lauren GlitterXplosion Laracuente. And yes, the giant we speak of just had a World Cup, $30 million, Arthur Ashe Stadium, $3 million to the solos winner. You might have heard of it. Fortnite, big deal. And you gotta admit, after Booga won the solos, he was everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And now, here we are, Apex Legends this week at X Games, also a big deal, a little bit less of a prize pool, but perhaps a great introduction for Apex Legends Esports. So let's ask this question right out of the gate, Lauren. In your opinion, how can Apex Legends carve out their share of the Battle Royale esports genre?
Okay, so I think they have a really golden opportunity at their fingertips right now. I think that what Fortnite has managed to do is really attack a certain demographic for the Battle Royale genre that didn't previously exist. They've managed to appeal to a younger demographic. They've managed to appeal to a family-based demographic, which I think typically video games haven't really made that reach for. And so that's kind of where Fortnite is. And they're really, really good at what they do. But I think Apex has an opportunity to appeal to not only a slightly older demographic, but a more competitive one. Fortnite is definitely more, or can be more casual. It's more accessible. The barrier to entry is a little bit lower for new players, whereas Apex does take a certain level of skill to pick up quickly. If you want to pick it up quickly, you can obviously grind it out and learn it. But it definitely is for a little bit higher competitive player. And I think that's where they really, really shine.
Do you feel that Apex Legends could be a disruptor in this space? Fortnite has all the attention right now, even more, much more than PUBG, H1Z1, etc. But Apex Legends now, we could be on the precipice for, we don't know just yet, but it's quite possible that we could see a lot more events like the ones we're going to see at X Games this weekend. And by the way, we will be there covering all the action. We'll get to that in a little bit. But it's a very fascinating time for BR because there's all this attention on Fortnite. And I wonder, with Apex coming in here, what's it going to take for them to really make a splash?
You know, I think they started it off right by differentiating their game with the class-based legend system. Fortnite obviously did it, you know, with building, right? So everybody's trying to figure out what their niche is going to be. And I think that if they can just head in the right direction, I think that they started with implementing those new changes for Season 2. I think people want to see more of that. They want more changes. They want more content in their games. And if they can kind of keep their community, you know, engaged in that sense, they've got a really, really good shot at doing something good here.
What advantages does Apex Legends have structurally as a game over Fortnite as it pertains specifically to esports and top-level competition?
I think what they've done really well is they focused on the core of what BR skill revolves around, which is, you know, the gunplay. It's about smart decision making. It's about, you know, good rotations, map knowledge, just a lot of core basics that make a high-level BR really, really successful. And then they turned around and they tweaked a bunch of mechanics and made them even better. Like Respawn, I think that they've probably done it the best so far out of any game that's tried to do any sort of a respawn system. They've managed to not only make it so that, you know, it's not you're down and then there's no coming back. You're not instantly eliminated, so you have the option to be rezzed, but then you also can be fully eliminated and still be brought back. And that, at the time when they first did that, that was novel. And I think that if they can keep coming up with those types of ideas, are golden.
I know we've been talking a lot about Fortnite and the Fortnite World Cup. That prize pool money was simply irresistible, even for mainstream outlets not to cover, right? $30 million, $100 million plus across the season. And the story of a 16-year-old becoming a millionaire overnight playing this game was the ultimate story to carry us through the week. So I'm wondering, is there a monetary value for Apex Legends to be able to capture that? Have we set a bar now for a minimum number to be able to capture that zeitgeist in esports such as this?
I'm worried that that might have actually happened a little bit. I think that we live currently in a culture where, you know, excess is what everybody's kind of striving for. You know, so people are looking for those big prize pools. They want to play for a ton of money. I mean, who wouldn't? That's an unreal opportunity. And I think that a lot of developers are taking note of that, though. I mean, we've seen the prize pool with Dota is getting massive. Like, I think
Yeah.
games are going to be catching up to that. They just need to prove that it's going to be successful. And I think that, the X Games is a perfect opportunity to do that.
So all things staying equal, let's say that the playing field was, except for the structural technicalities of the game, prize pools were equal, interest was equal. Where do you think the top Battle Royale competitors would play the most? Where would they grind the most if all things were equal? Would Apex Legends have a good chance to take the lion's share of those competitors?
100%. 100%. Without a doubt. Easily. Hands down. Yes. All of it.
Why is that?
Because it appeals more to that competitive mindset. I'm friends with a lot of the pros, and I know that Apex is almost where their heart is. Like they want more of it. They want more content. They want it to be really, really successful because it feels very satisfying to do well, specifically in Apex. And I know that in a perfectly hypothetical world, if Apex were offering the same type of prize pool that Fortnite was, it would be insanity, pure insanity, honestly.
You could really see some heavy-duty names, some
Yes.
tastemakers,
100%.
some influencers say, I'm going to exclusively grind Apex because this is where my heart is, like you said.
And it's a great game.
Yeah. What do you think needs to change about the game in order to make it an elite, especially for top-level competitors? In your opinion, what needs to change about the game?
I think there was a period of time where it got a little stagnant for the players. I think there weren't too many changes being made, or not quickly enough, at least. And I think people are hoping that that can kind of change in the future. I think the players would like to see quicker updates, or at least maybe more frequent updates, and definitely more content. People, BR is not a new genre anymore. So there is always the potential for your player base to get burnt out, because not only is it relatively repetitive, yes, there's certain aspects that change with the aspect of RNG, but it's also a pretty high intensity game genre. So people will get burnt out if you're not giving them new things to try out or new content to use or just some sort of an incentive to keep playing your game.
Mm-hmm. Spectator mode, custom lobbies.
Exactly.
Other two things that come to mind. Custom lobbies. Definitely custom lobbies. Custom
I
lobbies.
have high hope. I have so many high hopes for custom lobbies. Honestly, I feel like they're right there. Someone wants to give us custom lobbies, and I know it. I know they do. The players, the comp scene, the entire comp scene will throw an entire party when that
It's
happens.
going to be, like Twitter's going to go
It'll
ablaze.
blow up.
It's going to be the best. That's the biggest thing, the biggest request among the top players is custom lobbies.
Yeah, because right now the players don't really have an outlet in which they can practice against other top tier players, right? So all they do is they have to queue into games at the same time. They'll sit in a Discord and count down, and then they all go at the same time and hope that they land in a public lobby together. And, it works. It definitely works. It's something pros have been doing forever when they didn't have any sort of a custom lobby to load into. But it also isn't the best system because you're still going against potentially
Sure.
public players, not just the pros. And so you don't get the most accurate, practice for them.
So this weekend at X Games is going to be among the first time that we're going to see all of these pros play against each other in the same environment. Do you think this is going to be a coming out party for Apex Legends Esports?
I hope so. I really do. I'm so excited. I'm such a fangirl when it comes to BR events, and I'm so excited for this Apex event. I think that I think it's going to be really, really good for the game to show what they can do at a massive, dedicated LAN event. But I also think it's going to be really, really good for the players because up until now, with the exception of the one Twitch Rivals event at TwitchCon EU, right, in Berlin, there hasn't been a LAN where they can have dedicated servers and no ping, and they haven't gotten that experience yet. They've done everything online. So this is going to be completely brand new territory. It's here in the United States, which is even more exciting for a lot of NA players. They can kind of be in their home turf, and It's going to be so good.
We're both excited because we will both be there in Minneapolis at X Games, giving you continued coverage all weekend long. So keep it locked at youtube.com/ESPN Esports, on Twitter, ESPN_Esports, because we will be bringing you the content. We'll see you there.